Eden Hazard was one of the best players on the planet when he signed for Real Madrid back in 2019. The man had struck fear into the heart of Premier League defenders and lifted multiple trophies along the way. Fast forward to now, well, he's just had his contract terminated by Real Madrid a year early and now considering retirement at just 32 years old. How did Hazard go from hero to zero so quickly? I'll be diving deep into exactly how Eden Hazard let his career die at Real Madrid. Hazard signed for Real Madrid as their most expensive ever signing, 115 million euros or 98 million pounds. And fair enough, Hazard had ripped up the Premier League and Real Madrid were desperate for some new talent at the Bernabeu. Bale was flirting with a move to China or a golf tour every 5 minutes. Ronaldo had just left for Juventus and Barcelona had just won La Liga. Hazard, who just contributed 38 goals for Chelsea in the season before and lifted the Europa League, seemed the perfect fit. And it was congratulations for Eden. The man had finally sealed his dream move to Madrid and was on the cusp of reaching his footballing prime. Surely, the Belgian would grab this chance with both hands and prepare the best he could for the new season in Spain. Hazard has turned up to Madrid overweight. As reported, Hazard was 7 kilograms over his desired body weight when he turned up for Madrid's pre-season in Montreal. That's over a stone. Perhaps his first impression at his new club, and he's now unfit and not ready for perhaps his biggest and most important ever season. Madrid's president, Florentino Perez, who had hailed Hazard when he first signed for Madrid as the man to fix all of their problems, was now apparently distanced himself from the idea of Hazard even playing a key role in the La Liga, now suggesting Hazard was all Zidane's idea, not his. But this wasn't the first time Hazard had struggled to get into shape for the start of a new season. In fact, Eden admitted to a Belgian newspaper of a disastrous 2015-16 season, in which Chelsea ended up finishing 10th, Jose Mourinho was sacked, and Hazard himself only registered 6 goals. I had a bad year one year, said Hazard, on a horrific season in the last 6 months under Mourinho, and it was partially down to my own doing. After winning the title the season before, we went for extra holidays, and I was totally out of shape for the start of the new season. I remembered that lesson this summer, in which he's referring to 2018. 4 weeks after the World Cup, I was back in training for Chelsea. David Luiz, a long-standing teammate of Eden Hazard at Chelsea, gave quite clear warning signs to Madrid just before they signed him. After Chelsea thrashed Arsenal in Baku at the Europa League final, video circulated online of David Luiz actually pinching Hazard's belly fat alongside Gonzalo Higuain. To make matters worse, Hazard then sustained a thigh injury in pre-season for Madrid, so not only is he out of shape, he's also now injured and missed the start of the campaign. Hazard finally featured for Real after missing those first 3 games, coming on as a sub in the 70th minute in their 3-2 win over Levante, and then followed that up with a full 90 minutes and a 1-0 victory over Sevilla. Not long after, Hazard then registered his first goal for his new club whilst beating Granada 4-2. Perhaps Hazard was back to his best, back in favour of the Real hierarchy and firing on all cylinders for his new club. Then against Eibar, Hazard was outstanding. He didn't score or assist, but was undoubtedly man of the match, as Los Blancos won 4-0, which was followed by another world-class performance by Eden, as they beat Real Sociedad 3-1. Up next was a real chance to shine for the Belgian, a home tie against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. Now, a lot of people, when they think of Eden Hazard's recent decline at Real, assumed it was all down to being out of shape and him just taking full granted of the whole situation at Real. And whilst that is mostly true, it was actually this match where Hazard sustained an injury that would fester for years to come and really diminish his chances at his new club. Hazard, as he had done in his last 2 games for Madrid, started against PSG excellently and even strangely nutmegged the referee. The man was playing freely and expressing himself as he had done all those years for Chelsea. Around the 60th minute though, Hazard attempted to turn away from Belgian teammate Thomas Meunier, but unfortunately a timed tackle actually sent Hazard's ankle rolling awkwardly, which led to him being carried off injured. Now, when you see the tackle, it wasn't anything horrific or something that you'd see in Sunday League caps. It was just a really unlucky tackle that gave Hazard so many issues for years to come. I am honestly sad, said Thomas Meunier after the game. I spoke to 2 or 3 of his teammates who said Hazard had taken quite a hit from the tackle. I cross my fingers that it's not too bad. If there is one player who I really don't want to injure, it's Eden. At the time, the injury was minor, but ever since that night against PSG, the 2-time Premier League champion has never really been able to recover. You see, the right ankle Hazard had just injured was one that he'd received surgery on before whilst at Chelsea. Although it was just a small fracture this time, it did put Hazard out for 3 months. So now, he's turned up to Real Madrid overweight, he's not ready, he's been injured, he's missed the first couple of games, he's been on top form, but now he's out of action for quite a while. He did return in February, but then fell back into his right ankle problems right before the COVID-19 pandemic. For his ankle to recover properly, properly, Hazard now had to have a metal plate put into the ankle itself. But reportedly, this plate caused Hazard a lot of physical and mental distress. He was now getting injured more often and continually denied the chance to return to his best form. Yes, Hazard started badly at Madrid through his own fault, but now the chance to shine is being taken from him right in front of him. In March 2021, Hazard decided his best chance to return to form was to have the metal plate actually removed, but Madrid denied him the chance and advised against it, only to then actually grant permission, and finally in March 2022 he was able to have the plate removed. But that's a whole year of his career gone just like that, just because Real couldn't make their minds up. Fast forward to now in 2023, and Hazard was desperate to see out his contract until 2024 at Madrid. Not only did he want to prove himself, but his family had actually settled quite nicely in the Spanish capital. But on top of all the injury problems he's had over the years, a source who remains anonymous to The Athletic told them that relations between Ancelotti, the now new Real Madrid manager, and Hazard completely broken down, and they were no longer speaking to each other. This was because Hazard felt very let down by the lack of playtime he'd received for Madrid this past season just gone. Ancelotti supposedly promised him these minutes, and now he's gone and let him down. And it is partly true. Ancelotti did say in a press conference in December, Hazard will be one of the players who plays more in the second part of the season. But since then, including 2 small injuries, Hazard featured for just 67 minutes in a Copa del Rey match against a Spanish third-tier side. From the 11th of September to the 2nd of April in last season, Hazard didn't feature in La Liga. Whilst in the Real dressing room, it seems Hazard's time at Madrid was quite unlucky and was seen as a good guy who got on well with a lot of players. He never created any problems and he behaved quite positively. For the 2022 World Cup though, Hazard did state in a press conference that if Madrid asked him to leave in 2023, then he would so. And I do respect Hazard for not dragging out his contract all the way to 2024. The man could well have stayed. His family were nicely settled and he was earning about 15 million euros after tax. Now that it's been officially announced, we can reflect on the car crash that was Hazard's time at Madrid. And Toni Kroos, a Real Madrid legend, was recently sure to give a warning to players in the future that come to Madrid for big money and could well replicate the decline of Hazard. And asked about Jude Bellingham's arrival of 88.5 million euros, Kroos said, "We had another player who came for a lot of money and basically let his career die." I think everyone would say that was not a good transfer, but let's get positive. Kroos was obviously pointing out the fact that Hazard was to blame for his decline over the last few seasons and not taking full advantage of his dream move. And that is partially true, but shockingly, in the 3.5 years since Hazard got injured in that match against PSG, the man only completed one full 90 minutes. In his full time at Madrid, Hazard suffered 18 injuries, equating to 498 days out of action, missing 77 games. At Chelsea, Hazard only suffered 13 injuries and only 198 days out, with only 21 games missed. At Chelsea and Lille, in the previous 10 years before signing for Real, Hazard only missed 22 of his 380 league matches. He truly grafted throughout his time in England and France. But perhaps that intense lifestyle, coupled with his poor pre-seasons, eventually just got too much for him, putting an end to what could have been a glorious career. As an Arsenal fan, I've quietly liked the fact that Hazard has flopped at Madrid after all the pain he's given us over the years, but not that he got injured so often. And I do hope he isn't remembered for these awful years. In the Premier League, Hazard was included in the PFA Team of the Year for his first season. Then in his second, the man won Young Player of the Year. And after that, the full Player of the Season. That's 3 straight years of electric performances and returning Chelsea to title winners. Sure, the 15-16 season wasn't a good one, but after that he went on to win the Premier League, FA Cup, Europa League and 2 of Chelsea's Player of the Year awards. The man put up unrivaled consistency as a wide player for Chelsea for 7 years, and whilst he's considering retirement now, the man put up performances that will grant him a Chelsea legend.